Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate's government's total expenditure shows an increase of 6.1% at the end of May 2018. Deadly Israel strikes pound Gaza after a soldier is killed. And the Syrian rebels begin evacuation from the Golan frontier. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. Revenues of the Sultanate's government rose by 23.2% to more than 4 million Omani riyals for the first 5 months of 2018, over the same period of last year, thanks to a major recovery in oil prices. As a result of the growth in oil prices, the net oil revenue of the Sultanate's government surged by 34.8% to 2.3 million riyals during January to May period of 2018. Against 1.7 million riyals for the same period of last year. As far as expenditures are concerned, total government expenditure increased by 6.1% to 4.8 million Omani riyals for the first 5 months between January and May 2018. This is against an expenditure of 4.5 million riyals for the same period of last year. The Islamic banking entities provided financing to the extent of 3.2 billion Omani riyals as at the end of April 2018, as compared to 2.7 billion riyals a year ago. The total deposits held with Islamic banking and windows increased substantially by 25.4% to 3.1 billion Omani riyals in April 2018 from 2.5 billion riyals a year ago. The total assets of Islamic banks and windows combined amounted to 4 billion riyals at the end of April 2018, constituting about 12.4% of the entire banking system assets. To familiarize general diploma graduates with the nature of studying abroad and to share experiences with relation to the procedures of admission and registration in international universities, a gathering was held at the Middle East College in Muscat. Our reporter Salvan Kalfan Al-Rabi has more details in the following report.
Wujha, meaning destination, is an initiative aimed for the graduates of the general diploma, especially those who are planning to apply for scholarships. Organized by Salikun Company in cooperation with the Ministry of Higher Education, with the presence of cultural attaches, this initiative endeavored to guide the students and acquaint them with the nature of studying abroad.
This initiative is a very productive initiative where you can see here that it's not only talking about USA or Canada. We're talking about students coming from many different countries, and they are sharing their experience. This experience, whether it is a positive experience or negative experience, is very important in having the knowledge. So students and parents, when they go to these countries, they will be well prepared. And as a government body, we're always there to support them in terms of having the consultancy. Our offices in Oman, the Ministry of Higher Education, and the cultural attaché offices in the different countries are there to support the students, the families, whether they are from a private sector or whether they are from a government organization.
The discussion panel at the gathering was an opportunity for the students to ask questions related to studying systems, admission and registration procedures, and traveling guidelines.
This gathering was a great chance for us to learn more about studying pro. It was a good idea for us and learn more about more skills from the another students. It has given us a good picture about studying pro.
Benefits I get from this gathering, that first I know each country more and the weather, the students there, and how the years and everything there, and which make me very comfortable to study in each country I wish to study in the future.
Senior students who have previously studied abroad gave detailed explanations of 11 countries, presenting their experiences and familiarizing the students yet to apply for a scholarship and their parents with ways to overcome any challenge they might encounter during the course of studying abroad. Through this initiative, the general diploma students gained valuable hands-on experience about their future specialization and essential strategies to follow while studying abroad. For the Sultanate of Oman television, Salih Mukhalfan Al-Rahbi, Muscat.
With the start of Harif season for 2018 and the increasing tourism movement this year, the airports in the Sultanate kept pace with these developments. This was attributed to their capabilities to deal with the doubled number of flights of local and Gulf airline companies, due to rise in the number of travellers from inside and outside the Sultanate heading to the Governorate of Dhofar to enjoy the season, which represented an important season for the national carrier. Annual Kharif and winter seasons and the tourism potentials of the Governorate of Dhofar contributed to the doubling of the number of flights, which has great economic impact on the Governorate. Still to come in our news bulletin. Plants with bite. Carnivorous plants fairs blooms in Bogota.
عبق فاح بين جنباتها، فنفثت سلاما برائحة لبانها. حلقت عاليا نحو السماء، فنقشت بأبجدياتها تاريخا جميلا، وبكرمها أمست مضربا للأمثال. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2018 من 10 من يوليو إلى 25 من أغسطس.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. In order to develop the capabilities of youth and activate the cultural and social movement in the Wilaya of Sur, a ceremony was held to launch Sawari Culture Saloon. It aims to give the Omani talents to develop their skills in the fields of poverty and arts. The event was held under the auspice of His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki bin Masoud Al Said. The first activity of the saloon was a poetic evening that included poets from inside and outside the Sultanate. It will organize more cultural and artistic events in the upcoming period. In order to facilitate the customs procedure and enhance the international trade growth as per best international levels, the Directorate General for Customs and Oman Logistics Center has implemented the pre-clearance system for imported goods. The system will enable importers to obtain all required permissions from customs or any other government body before the arrival of their goods to the Sultanate, in a way that ensures the flow of goods with least effort and time. This initiative is part of the national plan to develop the performance of the logistics sector in the Sultanate, as to transfer the Sultanate to an international hub for trade and logistics. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry announced that the deadline for the bid document for the sale of raw dates, locally called al-Basur, for 2018 is the 29th of July. The ministry also pointed out that al-Basur includes types locally called as al-Mabsali, Abnarinji and Madluki. The crop will be sorted out depending on quality. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry urged farmers to develop the quality of their projects and purify them to enhance competitiveness at the export markets. The ministry also called for identifying new markets for al-Basur and encouraged farmers and traders to directly export the crops to foreign markets. The ministry noted that it is committed to issuing the subsidy provided by the government to each ton produced by farmers. Israeli forces unleashed a wave of deadly strikes across the Gaza Strip today after a soldier was shot dead along the border. A ceasefire agreement was reached earlier today after the Egyptian and the United Nations mediation. It reduced fears of a wider conflict. Israel did not confirm the deal, which was the second such ceasefire agreement in a week. Yesterday, 3 Hamas men were killed as air raids sent fireballs exploding into the sky over Gaza, while Israel said rockets had been fired back at its territory. The United Nations urged all sides to step back from the brink after months of increasing tensions, with a 4th Palestinian shot dead during protests along the border with Israel. Meanwhile, Israel has also further tightened its blockade of Gaza by restricting use of the only goods crossing, suspending oil and gas deliveries. Syrian rebels began evacuating the border with Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, leaving for the rebel-held north in a surrender deal that restores President Bashar al-Assad's control of the frontier. With a Russian-backed government offensive closing in, rebels have agreed to either accept the return of state rule or leave to Idlib province in the north. Buses transporting both rebels and civilians began leaving the area in the mid-afternoon. The offensive, which has restored Syrian government control over a swath of the southwest, has been one of the swiftest campaigns of the 7-year-long war. The United States, which once armed the southern rebels, told them not to expect its intervention. As the attack began, many surrendered quickly. A survivor of a capsized migrant boat brought to the Spanish island of Majorca, along with 2 bodies from the wreck, has been transferred to a hospital for trauma treatment. Spanish authorities said today that a rescue boat operated by the Spanish aid group Proactivia Open Arms has found the Cameroonian woman along with the bodies of a toddler boy and another woman in the Mediterranean Sea. The aid group accused Libya's Coast Guard of abandoning the 3 on Tuesday after intercepting some 160 Europe-bound migrants. It said the 2 women and the toddler had refused to board the Libyan vessels with the rest of the migrants and were left behind. The vessel docked today after a 4-day journey across the Mediterranean. It was accompanied by its sister ship, Astral. Britain has recorded the driest weather in 50 years for the first half of the summer. According to the Met Office, as little as 47 millimetres of rain has fallen across the country so far this summer. Large swaths of grass and fields and public parks are dry and yellow due to the lack of rain. The dry weather has created favourable conditions for an abundance of butterflies. But as London Zoo curator of invertebrates said, the lack of rain can have a knock-on effect for the insect's breeding process. A colourful parade of classic cars took place in Moscow today. The parade, which was followed by a rally through central Moscow, was its 5th edition, and as many as 133 crews driving classic Soviet-era cars participated. The most popular car brands were Gaz, Moskvich and Volga. The cars raced for 100 kilometers along a scenic route, which includes many of the city's most popular sites. A carnivorous plant fair full of botanic monsters has blossomed in the Colombian capital of Bogota, giving visitors the chance to get up close and personal with plants of the meat-eating variety. The exhibition shows off over 500 of the world's quirkiest plants from over 52 different species, such as the Venus flytrap and the cobra lily, and there is even a feeding show for curious visitors. Carnivorous plants are some of the easiest plants to grow, surviving on low-nutrient soil and a diet of insects and even rats. Organizers hope to dispel some of the urban legends surrounding these plants, such as their appetite for human flesh. The exhibition is called Get Caught and is on show at Bogota's Botanical Gardens until July 23rd. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle, and the rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Low cloud and fog late at night and early morning are expected over the coast of the Arabian Sea and the Sea of Oman. Winds will be southeasterly light to moderate, and seas will be slight with a moderate to maximum wave height of 1.45 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before in tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate's government's total expenditure shows an increase of 6.1% at the end of May 2018. A deadly Israeli strike pounds Gaza after a soldier is killed. And the Syrian rebels begin evacuating the Golan frontier. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsrooms and the studio, it's good night.